Okay, so I'll be I'll be honest. When I made this video, I wasn't exactly expecting the feedback that I got, with like lots of people wanting to know how the entire video was made, how the software was written, the basically one of the most popular questions or requests I got was the code. So I will link the pack and go file to this video so that you can download it and you'll be able to open the entire project. You'd see the code and everything, and you'll see how I structured the entire commands and everything in the rapid file, so you'll be able to see it. At this time, I don't have a valid license for ABB Robot Studio. This is almost 2 years now. I'll say like a year and a half that I made this particular video, and right now I don't have a valid license. But to answer some of the other questions I got, so this is the project itself. One of the most popular questions I got was regarding how we have these texts in here. Well, the pack and go file, you would have those texts. You just need to make something like a you need to save it as a particular file type. I will link the exact file type, and you can import it as a model into ABB Studio, and you can position it where you need it to be. So that was where I did it. I had the text written and the shapes I needed drawn, and then I simply, under simulation, I created targets directly onto the work object. So there are three work objects on this table: this particular work object, this one, and this other one. There are three work objects. You can go through the pack and go file, you see the work objects. So these are the three work objects. Ignore this one, this is like the default. I ended up not using this one at all. But what did I think I used it for navigating the entire table. But again, it's been a while. So if you want to see the code, this is what the code looks like. First, you have calib data, where you simply where I just defined the tool data and the work object. So we've got tilt paper, paper, and paper 2. Okay, not exactly the most intelligent naming scheme, but then this is the main thing here in the project. You've got, well, the module. This is the main module here. Again, you call the work objects that you have created in calib data, and then all the targets, all of them are listed here. Now, these targets, I tried to name them and structure them in such a way that it will be very easy to read and to be easy to understand. Some of these targets are repeated. Just ignore these ones here. Most important one you need to know about are these ones down here. So we've got targets S1 up, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, and S6 up. Okay, so what does this mean? I named them in this format so that you can, in the view, this is S1 up. I think this is S1 up, yeah. S1 up, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, and S6 up, so that the robot can jog the pen tool. And this is the pen tool. This is the tool itself, this point here. So the robot can jog that tool to all the different targets. So that was what I did in here. Again, the code will be in the pack and go file. So once you open it, once you load it with your robot studio, you'll be able to go to controller and you see the code and you see exactly what I did. So the code is basically, there's a main function, and I try to structure it almost like a solid principles of programming. I try to make it a bit more structured. So you've got your main function that calls all the other functions, or main routine. Now this main routine, it calls, basically it just repeats. I'm sure you've seen the video. If I jump back into the video, the first thing it does is, yeah, it hold on. So when you run the program, first thing it says is this. Just trying to. Okay, so first thing we're going to try and do is, yes, this is what I'm trying to do here. So first thing it shows is ABB Studio Practicals. What would you like to draw slash write? And you see the shapes, Salford name, all of the above. That's this exact instruction here. ABB Practicals are my name. What would you like to draw slash write? Shapes and all that. So, and each of these like switch statements in C, but this is rapid, so it's called a case statement, basically a test case. And each of these buttons are linked to other routines. So these are the routines that they are linked to: the shapes routine, the name routine, the hold on, name routine, and okay, so shapes, Salford, and name routine. Those are the three main routines. The Salford routine basically only contains the subroutines for the letters. So we've got shapes, shapes, Salford, and name. These are the three routines here, yeah. And each of these routines call subroutines. So I wrote it this way so that everything is well structured. We've got a shape circle routine. This is a shape circle routine. And if you trace it all the way down here, you see shape circle, which just draws a circle. So it just draws the circle. It jogs the robot using move J to the first point at this particular velocity data, speed data, and then it jogs it to this particular work object. So this one called tilt paper. So I call this work object tilt paper because if you take a look at it, it's the tilted paper that's tilted to the corner like this. So that's basically how I wrote it. So feel free to look through the code, try and understand how everything was written. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll try and get to them. I know I've taken quite some time to get back to lots of questions that were asked, but yeah, that's kind of how it is. So just taking another quick look through if there are any other very important things that you probably need to know. So yeah, that's basically it. As for this shape, as for the text, you can do it with SolidWorks, you can do it with Photoshop, you can do it with a couple of other tools. You just have to write your text, you save it in a particular format. Probably Google that bit. It's been some time, so I think I've forgotten that bit. You save it as a particular format, you can import it into Robot Studio and you can superimpose it on top of your 3D models here. And when you do so, it will give you the clear space to mark your targets. So if you mark your targets this way, you won't need to do the common thing that people do where they get a pen and paper and they draw the shape and they try and you can do it directly in here. You won't need to use your teach pendant to jog the robot to each target one after the other. You can simply click and create a target, click and create a target, click. And when you do that, you might have one particular issue, which is the robot orientation. It's a very popular issue, but you need to go into. I'll just show you what you need to do. 1 second. Yeah, you need to on Amoto. You need to go to the exact what's the name again? Robot target that was just created when you click the target, and make sure that I believe this is the joint, basically the joint data for what angle and position each joint will be. And the robot may calculate 7 different ways that the joint can be oriented to get the tool data to that point, to this robot target. This is the robot target here. So it may calculate like 7 or 8 different ways to get there. And sometimes, as it's jogging from one position to the other, you would have a scenario where while that position is possible on its own, it is not possible while translating from where it was before to the next. So you would always have that error. I find that it's easier to make sure that for every work object, let them all have one common joint data orientation, basically. So if you notice, all these ones here for this particular work object, they all have the same orientation. They all have the same. Then when we are done with Salford, for example, yeah, when we're done with Salford and we go to Gabriel, you may see that it changes a little bit, but to a large extent, they were all the same. So I didn't need to do anything regarding uh, uh, creating very unique joint data. But that's the most popular other problem that you may find. So I would have shown you here, but I don't have a valid license anymore, so I'm not even able to open it up yet. Anyway, I hope this helps. Feel free to reach out if you have any more questions.